The tape was released, and people sure are quiet. What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Here I go again, speaking on the Karmelo Anthony case. You know, during the trial, a lot was said. People really tried to make Karmelo Anthony the victim in this case. A lot of people who like to play on people's emotions based off of race, they were out there with bullhorns. They were in front of every microphone and every camera they could find. They were trying to overshadow what actually happened and get people emotionally charged. For what? There were people that said they saw the video and that Karmelo was getting jumped, that there were multiple people on Karmelo. How did they not realize that sooner or later the video will come out? Well, the video came out, and I think we've all seen it. And I think that we all have questions, right? There was more than one tent there. Why did Karmelo pick that tent? What was the reason behind that particular tent? Whatever it was, he went and he sat there. And in the tape, you can clearly see. Well, I don't want to say clearly. In the tape, you can see, in the video, you can see Austin approached him, pushed him, and then was stabbed. And Karmelo ran out the backside of the tent and took off running. It showed him taking off down the track. Then he's arrested. Then there's the body cam footage. Initially, it doesn't seem like Karmelo's upset at all, worried at all. He's talking to the cops. When they called him the alleged whatever, he said, "I'm not alleged, I'm the one that did it." Clearly stated that. And then for like a brief, at least from the body cam footage that's been released, for a brief second, he does this dramatic cry and says, "He put his hands on me. I told him not to put his hands on me." And then went back to be normal. You know, before the tape, people were saying he cried, and he showed, that shows that he cared and he was remorseful. No, I've always said no. He didn't cry before they put the cuffs on him, and now actually seeing the video, he was fine. He was talking normal the whole way, except for a little tiny snippet where I think he thought about what happened. What was going to happen, I should say. I don't know. I just find it, I find it very alarming. I'm not surprised, but I find it alarming that there were so many people willing to get in front of cameras, in front of microphones, in front of their phones, and post things to social media, creating a whole scenario out of thin air. And it was a scenario that some people were really stoking the flames. I'll say that. I'll say it that way. And now that the video has come out, they're not apologetic at all. They're not apologizing to anybody. They're still trying to say it's self-defense. Let me tell you something. I was in YA with this guy, right? From LA, California Youth Authority. And we both paroled. Then I get busted later. I get busted after 5 months. And a couple years down the line, I'm talking to somebody in the yard in prison, right? And he asked me, hey, you know so and so? The guy I was in YA with. And I said, yeah. He goes, hey, do you hear what happened to him? I said, nah, what happened? He was in his neighborhood. He walked up to a certain little spot in his neighborhood. He was standing there waiting for his homeboys. I guess they had just went somewhere, and he was standing there waiting for him. Another guy walks up to him, and he's like, hey, what's up? Where'd the homies go? And he's like, oh, I think they went to the store, this and this and that. He's like, oh, all right. And then pulls out a gun and shoots the guy I was in YA with. Shoots him in his stomach. He grabs the gun. They tussle. He gets the gun, takes it from the guy. The guy. Remember, by the way, he was from a rival neighborhood. The other guy, right? So the rival shoots, the guy I know, shoots him in the stomach, gets his gun taken from him, and then gets taken out with his own gun. The guy that got shot in the stomach got a manslaughter and got 12 years. He was shot in the stomach and got 12 years for taking the other guy's life. And compare that to Karmelo Anthony getting pushed, not shot, not punched, not stabbed. Nothing life-threatening happened to him. He pulls out a knife and plunges it into the heart of Austin Metcalf. I don't get, I'm down the middle, right? What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. If Karmelo Anthony would have done that here in California, he would have got a life sentence. He would have gotten life. He got 35 years for taking out a teenager that didn't threaten his life. Hopefully, people see a lesson in this story. I'm not going to tell you what a lesson is, but hopefully people see a lesson in this story and can learn from it. We've all been in fights at school. We walked away from it. And we continued living. This is a sad situation that should have never occurred. Why Karmelo Anthony had a knife at school. Maybe one day he'll do an interview and he'll say why he had it. He's not going to catch more time for telling the truth. He's already been convicted. But I think that's a question that a lot of people would like to know the answer to. Why did you have a knife at school? And why that tent? I saw him walk past at least one tent to go sit in that tent. Go sit under that tent. Now, from my understanding, he knew some people in there. But if that's the case, the people that he knew, they said he shouldn't have been there. They said Austin didn't deserve to die. Something along those lines. Because everyone under that tent that was questioned basically said the same thing. $35 years is a sweetheart deal. When somebody loses their life and they get a number with no life sentence attached to it, they got a sweetheart deal. However, sitting behind those prison walls, ain't nothing sweet about that. Whoever Karmelo Anthony was prior to entering adult prison, that person's gone. He's already different, and his time just started. Now that he's hit prison, he's going to see the brutality of men. There's no compassion in there. Nobody's going to feel sorry for him. He's doing time just like them. I remember once when I was in the county jail, my mom's brother came to visit me one time. Didn't like me. He never liked me. I never liked him. But at one time, he had caught a life sentence. Actually, life without the possibility of parole. He did like, I want to say 8 years on it. And then his case got thrown out. He got released. Never went back to prison, right? It's from LA County. He came to visit me. And he said, "You want to be a tough guy, huh? Well, now you're going to where all the tough guys really are, and you're going to find out how tough you really are." Handed the phone back to my mom and walked out. Never spoken to him again. Karmelo Anthony, you wanted to be a tough guy. Well, you're now where the tough guys really are. You're going to find out how tough you really are. That's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.